Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Tower. So we are back with another progress update. It is exactly 1 month since the last progress update that I have made, and I think a lot has changed in this past 1 month, so I'm really excited to share that with you. Also, the past few weeks, if for those of you who have been following the channel for a while, you would know that I've been relatively inactive. I hope that's going to change now. So the past couple of weeks I've just been traveling, and there have been all sorts of administrative tasks going on in my life that I had to work with. But now that most of that has been settled, I think I'm ready to return to my daily routine and get things back into order. So let's start off with the stats page. Currently my total coins is at 4.85Q, stones at 94,000. So I hope, I'm looking forward to the day I break 100,000 stones. I do know where I want to go heavy in with stones again in future, but I think for the time being I'm not going to be spending too much on this game. I say that now, but then life gets in the way after a while. We'll see how it goes. At least it's the first of the month, and my resolution is really strong this month that I'm not going to be spending on the game. So we'll see how it goes. In terms of where I'm farming, I've made the transition over from tier 15 to tier 16. It took quite a bit of work. So I think half of last month I was just basically spending it trying to tweak my tower enough to the point where I can sort of farm tier 16. And in tier 16 I'm currently at realistically around 4.8k waves. Coins typically around 21 little Q each run, but it depends a lot on how many death defies I get. With tier 16, I think because of the Protector ultimate battle condition, it introduces a bit more variance in the run quality. So a bulk of the strategy that I had to work around, given my tower and my current upgrades, is on how to be able to manage enough control over the enemies in order for me to reliably farm tier 16. So I think more or less I'm kind of settled into tier 16 at the moment. In terms of where this puts me in terms of cells and coins, coin per hour is definitely better than tier 15. I'm currently getting around the same level of cells as I am in tier 15 with tier 16, so I think it's good enough for me to make the transition over. So right, speaking of cells, I guess we can talk about where these cells are being spent. So today's run, as you can see, it's all at 5x speed for my labs. Normally I'm able to afford at least 1 lab at 6x, and every other day I might be able to get 2 labs at 6x. The past few days I've just been traveling a bit more than usual, so cell economy has been lacking a little bit. But before we get there, I guess we can just talk through what I've been doing with my labs this past 1 month. So let's scroll down. You know what? Actually, it's easier if I just go through this page over here. So you would notice that I finally maxed out my shockwave size. It's not really that I need a max shockwave size. I don't really run a very large range, even in tournaments. But it's nice to see some more go boxes. I've been kind of neglecting a lot of go boxing for my labs for a while. So my focus for this past 1 month has been to try to just level up some of the earlier game labs, which I kind of left them sitting around 50% done, but just never really found the motivation to complete it. So that was my goal this month in terms of labs, just to go box as many as I could. Obviously I'm not going to unfavorite shockwave size because I do use variations of shockwave size and range for my tournament. So I'm just leaving this 2 over here. Lab coin discount, haven't gotten to touching it. Maybe I might bring it up to level 50 just so that it's a nice number. Battle condition reduction, I think that's going to be my priority this month. Ideally, I would like to go box this lab, but as you can see, it's pretty pricey. And I think I'm starting to be around the point in my enhancement development where realistically every 2 days or 3 days I should be able to afford some amount like this. So I think it would be time for me to just save up and make the final push to go box this particular lab. Crit factor damage, they have gone up from I think level 70 the past month to now level 87. I want to go box these 2 labs, probably even before attack speed. So we'll get into the priorities later, but I've brought them up to level 86 at the moment. Damage per meter hasn't been touched, attack speed hasn't been touched. So the first lab that I go box was my max rend armor multiplier. As most of you know, I use Poison Swarm Plus. So go boxing this, I guess, makes my Poison Swarm Plus a bit stronger. And so yeah, great that this lab is done, so I can finally unfavorite this. Super crit chance and super crit multiplier, I heard that they should be 1/10 the level of your crit factor and damage. So I guess when I go box these 2 labs, I will probably bring this up to level 10 and then get rid of this from my favorites list. Wall rebuild, so Fortress Mastery is I guess something that I would want to work on in future. And I thought to myself, well, might as well complete the wall rebuild lab first before I start worrying about having Fortress Mastery. And the reason why Fortress Mastery is probably good at some point is because realistically where I'm at, it's only either bosses or rays that kill me. At some point when my controls over the boss becomes better, it's only going to be rays that are a problem. So having a faster wall rebuild is just going to allow me to soak up more hits from enemies, and so that's why I went ahead and go box this lab. So that's done. Wall invincibility, well, since my wall is rebuilding pretty quickly, sometimes I get to the point where the bosses are kind of at the range of my wall when my wall pops out. So just having that extra time where I can take an extra 1 or 2 hits from on the bosses with wall thorns is probably useful. So I thought, well, since it's a short lab, might as well go box this as well. Wall thorns, it's currently sitting at level 16. Maybe I might touch it. It's a pretty long lab. But before I get there, I think my Poison Swarm labs, I'll probably want to complete them first before I go on to Wall Thorns. As you can see, I'm currently doing double death ray. I checked the lab calculator and it seems to be pretty fast, up to level 20 or so. So that's where I'm thinking of bringing it. I've also finally completed my super tower bonus. It was sitting at level 27 last month. So finally this is done. Go box. I no longer have to think about this. And that also means that my super tower mastery is giving me the most bang for my buck currently. Band perks is still here. I would like to get this lab go boxed. It's a long lab, but I think it really helps to ban off a lot of common perks, so that I can get all the nice trade-off perks and all my ultimate weapon perks as quickly as possible when I'm in a run. Auto pick ranking at some point. Maybe I might need another 2 or 3 levels into this. It's not a major priority for me. Where I want to complete my researches are actually my bots. So my golden bot, as you can see, it's not completed yet. It's currently at level 17. I'm just making the final push to just go box this lab. And the reason for that is because with Black Hole Digester, and I'm currently using a natural sync, sorry, a 50-second sync with my Black Hole Digester and my golden bot. I want my economy to be as good as possible. So having that extra 1.5 seconds out of golden bot every 50 seconds. I think that's pretty good investment. It seems like a 5% or so increase in my coin economy. So that's where my economy lab is going. Amplify bot cooldown is almost done. Once this is done, I will slot in amplify bot duration and then also just go on to max this out, because for damage, consistency is pretty important. So these labs over here, at some point I want to work on them. Whenever that time comes, I'm not sure. Because I'm currently using Space Displacer in my farming build, I decided to go ahead and just max out this inner mine blast radius. And for those of you who are not familiar with inner landmine, this inner landmine blast radius, the blast of the inner mine is huge. It's like where it is currently, it's bigger than my black hole. And granted, my black hole is not maxed in terms of its radius. It's sitting at 62 meters, but the blast radius from this inner mine is bigger than my black hole. So I think I'm getting quite a lot of, I guess, free blast damage, given that I'm using Space Displacer. Okay, so let's get rid of this gold box. Core effect bands. My cores are in a decent position at the moment. You know what, I don't want to put this here. I don't want to see this because this lab again takes forever and it's so painful to look at. Slow Aura Mastery is done. Over the past month, the major focus of my progression was in allowing me to transition out of tier 15 into tier 16. And a major issue for me is that rare enemies just kill me too quickly. So Slow Aura Mastery and Nuke Mastery were the two masteries that I selected last month. That allows me to give, it allows me more time to attack the rare enemies. And so I think I've benefited quite a lot from just having these two masteries done. Well, Slow Aura Mastery is done. Nuke Mastery I think needs another 1 week or so to be done. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, so Nuke Mastery has another 2 levels. Also, with tier 16 farming, because of Protector ultimates, I could be in a situation where very early on in the run, a Protector ultimate comes in, it just takes out my second win immediately. So having this recharge second win at level 2 has been, I guess, useful in just giving me that extra safety in my farming. So at some point I want to go box this. It's a short lab, so might as well just get it done. And you will see that landmine damage is at level 14. The first few levels were really quick, and my thought process for this is it's free damage, and given that I'm using Space Displacer, I actually want a substat rolled on that increases the landmine chance for my tower. So since I'm getting a lot more landmines, might as well make them hit a little bit harder for the free extra damage. And it's a short lab to max out, so it's going to be next on the list of go boxing, just for the fun of it. I would say though that granted I don't really have much enhancements in landmine damage, but landmine damage is actually relatively weak compared to the other sources of damage. So it's not something that I think is useful in pushing for huge increments in terms of your overall tower's performance. It's just there for free extra damage. That's my thought process behind this research. So let's scroll through the remainder. For the mains, maybe if I wanted to I might get more into utility discount, but I don't really need the extra coin at the moment. Maybe if I'm pushing my reductions, my what's that, enemy health level skip lab, my enemy health level skip workshop up to like 600 or so, maybe this is going to give me quite a bit of extra. So you know, no harm putting it to like level 50 or so. It's such a short lab anyway. Attack research, nothing is here. Defense research, I don't think I've touched anything in defense. For EHP related stuff, I guess. Health regen, defense percent is still, you know, sitting relatively low. Landmine decay, I don't think I need it because enemies just pop off my landmines immediately. But maybe if I had nothing better to do. It's such a short lab, and it's 35 levels, so I presume the first 20 or so is going to be really fast. Utility research, let's see. I don't think anything has changed over here. I don't intend to touch any of this. Maybe if EHP becomes a thing again, recovery package max and recovery package amount might be something I touch in future. In terms of ultimate weapons, so chronofield duration is still not done. I currently have, with the substat, 70 seconds duration for my tournaments, so it's enough to deal with the ultimate weapon battle condition. Maybe in future, if I want to you know, actually push for actually 70 seconds, I would max out this lab and then just use stones to get the remaining 9 levels. But I'm still so far away from that. So for all intents and purposes, my chronofield is done to me. Missile despawn time, I don't think I need it because my missiles are basically consumed instantly. Chronofield reduction if EHP becomes a thing again. Missile barrage quantity, it's just 6 levels. Might as well go box it at some point. Recharge missile barrage, maybe. I'll just start this. If I have nothing better to do, I'll chuck it in there. Chain thunder if EHP becomes a thing, and inner landmine chrono jump is, well, first I have to get inner landmine plus. It's still not something that I'm going to be touching anytime soon, so you know, for the time being, I'm just leaving it alone. So one of the things that you might have picked up is that I mentioned I use Space Displacer, and then, well, why don't I use inner landmine? Or why don't I rely on inner landmine damage? The reason for me, and you know, I'm pretty sure my thought process is flawed to some extent, is that with IOM Plus, you gain a lot of benefits from having the mine not exploding. But the way I'm using my Space Displacer, I'm actually running a very small range on my tower and just using my inner landmines for the stuns. So I'm not really going to be benefiting from IOM Plus anyway, just because the mines, I want them to go off as quickly as possible. So that's why I'm not touching IOM Plus. I have a little bit invested into IOM damage, as we'll see shortly. But I added in that damage and I realized that it really didn't do anything for my farming runs. So, you know, for me, I just think it's not worth the stone investment for me just yet. In terms of card research, I think all of you probably are quite aware of where my masteries are at. Well, I have damage, cash, slow aura, coins, enemy balance, free upgrade mastery, which I don't intend to max anytime soon. Intro sprint mastery, recovery package, super tower, demon mode with accelerator, berserker, and ultimate crit. I've also been getting a bit of questions about which masteries to unlock. My personal opinion is that recovery package mastery is the most useful mastery, and the reason for that is very simple. If we were to look at the resources that we are generating while playing this game, coins is one of them, but also the shard types of different modules. Those are things that we get in the process of playing the game. So every day that you do not have this recovery package mastery completed or even unlocked, you are losing out on a huge amount of shards of each type, and your module levels, they are going to ramp up the overall level of bonuses that you get. So I would personally prioritize this research just because of how powerful modules are. And if you are in the early game, maybe your levels are around the 100-ish region, you might feel that, well, the module bonuses are not as significant as something like, say, damage mastery or demon mode mastery. But they do ramp up very, very significantly. So I'll give you guys an example. My coins mastery is maxed out. That gives me an extra 1.3 bonus on my coin card. And so that brings my coin card to have an overall bonus of, I guess, 1.89. Okay, so it's 1.45 times 1.3, that's 1.89. Now, and if we were to look at my coin breakdown, you would see that, well, disable add starter pack, epic pack, these are the stuff that almost everyone has. My active card is giving me a 1.89 multiplier. Look at my module level. My module is giving me 2.15, which is larger than coin plus. And to me, having this generator module level is giving me a lot more bonus than the active card itself, because I'm able to roll in all the other substats from my module levels. And so, people might make a case where, well, it's important to get it to 161 as quickly as possible. I think my stance on the matter is that it's better to just get as high of a module level as quickly as possible, because if we were to look at all the other bonuses, it's the module level that, if there's one thing that I can remove that would affect my coin income the most, it's going to be my generator module. It's not going to be my coin card. In fact, if I removed my coin card, it's going to affect my coin economy less than if I removed my generator module. So that is my rationale for why I think recovery package mastery is better than something like coin mastery, or even like, say, damage or demon mode mastery. So if we look at, say, what's that, damage mastery, where is damage mastery? It's a 5 times bonus multiplier. So with the card, the base effect is 4 times. We increase the bonus by another 5 times, so that's a 20 time bonus multiplier. And so that might make damage multiplier seem like, or damage mastery seem really, really important. But then you look at your module level, and my Astral Deliverance is giving me 18.5 times tower damage, which is almost exactly the same as the coin multiplier with full mastery. And yeah, granted, it's going to take you quite a while to reach level 200-ish for your damage mastery, but I hope you guys get the idea. It's just incremental benefits over time that really, really stack up and boost your overall performance. Yeah, okay, so let's move on from cards. In terms of perks, nothing much is going to touch over here. I'm almost at the point where Amplify Bot is done. I think once that is done, I would probably unlock my Thunderbot. So that is why my priority this month is to focus on go boxing my Amplify and Golden Bot. Just so that when Thunderbot comes along, I have the lab slots available to then work on my Thunderbot labs. Enemies tab, probably I won't be touching anything here. I might work on Protector Health, because Protector Health is... Protectors is something that now where I'm at farming around wave 4000-ish in tier 16, I'm having trouble killing Protectors. Even with Smart Missile Amp and everything, it's taking a while to kill the Protectors. So having less health probably would improve my coin economy a little bit. In terms of the modules, right, so maybe I might put in these bands and just get them done at some point, but they do take a while. You can see the last level for generator bands is 48 days. I don't have 48 days of luxury waiting around for this lab to be done, but for the most part I don't really need this, so it's something that I would do eventually, but not right now. Alright, so that is it for labs. Let's look at the setups. So for farming, I don't think anything has changed. I still run a minimum range setup. Shockwave, I'm keeping it fixed with free upgrade mastery at 1.65. This allows my shockwave to just reach the 30-meter range line, maybe slightly beyond 30 meters. And I find that it's been working out really well for me. In terms of my level skips, I'm currently sitting at 530 for health level skips, and attack level skips is at 0. In terms of my ultimate weapons, let's see. So I still have not touched my chain lightning. If I were to touch my chain lightning, it's going to be quantity and maybe chance to 20%. Smart missiles, I would like to get back to you eventually one day, not right now. My cells for the month, my stones for the month went into getting my death wave cooldown to 50 seconds. So last month I was sitting at 100 seconds cooldown, and a while back I made a video on syncing your golden bot with your multiverse nexus. So if you guys were interested in figuring out how much my coins were affected, do check out that video. Well, anyway, now that this is done, I no longer have to touch my death wave for a while, hopefully. Chronofield, I think I got 2 levels into my CF plus. It's currently at level 7. I'm really happy with the spin rate at the moment, but of course we can always do better, and if I have spare stones, that's where it would go. In a landmine, as I mentioned earlier, I got the damage up a little bit. It was sitting at 2x, it's now at 53x. Still relatively cheap, but yeah, I don't really need it at this moment. I still don't really need the quantity level 6 at this moment, so leaving it alone for a while. Golden Tower duration is currently at 69 seconds. I have the option to bring it to 70 seconds, but I prefer 69 to 70, so it's sitting at 69 seconds for a while. I am at the point where I do need to work on my golden combo. It's sitting at level 11, and where I am now, the coin that I'm earning is not enough for my enhancements. So I think I would benefit a lot from holding off on spending any stones this month and then just getting GT12. When I get to GT12, maybe 70 seconds for duration. Maybe I might bring the duration up to 72 seconds even, and then save up for GT13, bring it up to 75, and then GT14. But that's a very long-term plan, and I think realistically that's where all my stones are going to go for the foreseeable future. If I do deviate from that strategy, it is going to be into Poison Swamp. My death creep is currently sitting at level 3. I might want to bring this up to level 5 and get duration to maybe another 10-15 seconds into it. Maybe 90 seconds duration would be good. And yeah, death creep to level 5. That's where my damage would, or where I would be going in terms of damage if I were to spend stones in damage. Black hole, I don't intend to touch anything for the time being. Black hole size would be nice, but I don't really need the extra size just yet. Duration is currently sitting at 36 seconds. I'll get into the modules later, but my duration is at 32 seconds. I just have the 4-second subs that rolled on. It certainly helped a lot with reducing the amount of chip damage that I'm taking, but I wouldn't say it's mandatory to have duration at 36 seconds. It's certainly not necessary for me to go to 38 seconds where I'm at yet. So maybe this might be a project I worked on sometime down the line. So the reason why I'm talking 38 seconds is because if I'm at 38 seconds, then, which is just 2 clicks away, I get permanent black hole with the perk using Multiverse Nexus and Black Hole Digester. And so that would significantly reduce the amount of chip damage that I have to do. What is stopping me from going to 38 seconds duration is I'm worried that it might result in bunching of the enemies, especially if a protector comes and enters my black hole. I'm just going to get a huge mass of enemies that are clustered around there, and it might just form a ramp for bosses to just go straight to my tower. So I think having a slight downtime in the black hole activation allows me to reshuffle the enemies in between my black hole activations. And yes, there is a case to be made about coins. You know, having permanent black hole with permanent GT is going to give you some extra coins, but realistically speaking, all my coin multipliers, when they activate, it's for the first 40 seconds that really matter, because I want all of these activations to sync up with my golden bot. So, you know, if I get up to 40 seconds of duration, I think that's good enough for me. As long as I'm able to survive it, I don't really worry. Spotlight, at some point I will get to you. My plan is, when I get to say 90 seconds of duration, keeping damage around the same, maybe another click or 2 into damage for Poison Swamp, and Death Creep to level 5, that's when I'm going to go into Spotlight Plus. So in terms of my enhancements, these are the enhancements that I have for my attack. I think I was only able to make the transition to tier 16 after this went to like 2.3 for these 4 items over here. So 2.35, it really didn't really make a difference from 2.3. But that's the damage that I needed to make the transition to tier 16. Defense enhancements also haven't really touched it. If I do touch it, maybe a little bit of orb size, maybe a little bit of landmine damage, just because I have Space Displacer. You know what, it's so cheap, I might as well just get in like 3 levels or 10 levels into it. Another 10 levels, 6.4. If Christian sees this, Christian is going to get a mini stroke, so I'm sorry, but it's cheap. Utility upgrade. So cash bonus is sitting at 1.6, coin bonus 1.67, sell bonus, I would like to bring this up to 165. That's where my coins are going in currently. Free upgrades 1.37, enemy level skip 1.3, and so this is, I guess, why I really need GT12. So because I'm farming about 20 Q every 4 hours, so that brings me to about 100-ish Q, little Q a day. It's barely enough to hit a level of coin bonus, barely enough to hit a level of free upgrade bonus, but level skips really important where I'm at, and it's taking me 2 days of farming just for 1 click over here. So this is a sign to me that my economy is lacking for where my enhancements are currently. In terms of cards, for the masteries for this month, it's going to be Wave Skip Plus and Extra Orb Plus, in line with just needing more economy. So that's where my two masteries would be. Alright, so let's look at the modules. In terms of the modules I found with Astro Deliverance, this is how my Astro Deliverance looks like. In terms of the ideal stats, well, this would be nice if it's multi-shot targets. This would be nice if it's not rare. Shall we try our luck? Let's try. And what is this? It's 3 attack speed. I don't need the attack speed. 3 bound shot targets. I don't really need the bound shot targets as well. And there goes my hopes. Well, so this is how my Astro Deliverance looks like for the time being. I probably should not have used the rerolls, but it's okay. I generate quite a bit every day with Cash Mastery. So ideally what I would like to do is, get a couple of bends in my Astro Deliverance, or in my cannons first. Get a couple of cannon bends before I get back to this again. So this is my Black Hole Digester. I think I have a very, very nice looking Black Hole Digester. I don't really need the enemy attack level skips, but eventually if EHP becomes a thing, I know that my Black Hole Digester is ready. All that's lacking is just the stars. And I actually got very lucky rolling this. So when I rolled it, I think it was 2 clicks from not having it. I clicked it 2 or 3 times, I got it, and then I was like, well, I'm done with this. So I no longer have to worry about my Black Hole Digester. This is how my Space Displacer looks like. The only thing that I really needed was the landmine chance and 2 ops, 3 op speed, just to hit the boss as many times as I can with my ops. I don't think I need to roll anything else on this Space Displacer. And this is my Multiverse Nexus. So when I unlocked it at 201, basically I had about 1.5 1.7 million reroll shots. So my thought process was, well, I would like so what were the items that I liked? I would have liked Chronos Field Speed Reduction, because my CF plus is not very strong. I would also have liked Spotlight bonus on it, and well, I clicked on it for a little bit, and the first thing that popped up was the 4 seconds black hole duration. And well, I was taking quite a bit of chip damage from enemies at that time, so I thought, well, might as well just keep this in for the time being. Eventually, when I get enough stones to just add 4 seconds of black hole duration manually, then I'm going to roll this out for either CF speed reduction or Spotlight bonus. Spotlight bonus would be ideal, but who knows when that will come, and maybe by then 241 would be a thing, so we shall see. Right, so my Dimension Core, this is how it looks like. I managed to roll in for my 201 substat a 10-second Poison Swamp cooldown. And so this is the main reason why I want an extra 15 seconds of duration in my Poison Swamp. That's going to allow me to have 2.5 or 3, well, about 2 to 3 swamps active during my tournaments. And that should allow me to stun enemies a lot more reliably. I would like this Chain Lightning chance to be Ancestral because my Chain Lightning is pretty weak, but realistically I will just roll this and see whatever Ancestral substat comes along and decide from there again. Singularity Harness, I'm not touching it, it's at 5-star. My Galaxy Compressor, it's also at 5-star, it's been at 5-star for a while. I think I've shattered a couple of Galaxy Compressors since then. but I don't need it anymore, so I'm no longer using it. Anti-cube portal, I think this is where my tower is a bit weak at. So I would like the Ancestral Wall rebuild substat. I would also like the Ancestral Knockback Force, because where I'm struggling in tournaments at the moment is when there is knockback resistance. I personally do not have a shrink ray, so I guess having the knockback force substat would be quite useful for me. Check, nobody cares about you. Havoc Bringer, I haven't used mine for a very long time, but this is how mine looks like. My project funding, I only use it for tournaments, but I think I'm sort of at the point now where in my tournament runs, the enemy health is getting a bit too high. So I'm actually going to be able to benefit more from Pulsar Harvester than with project funding. The issue that I'm facing with this is that my attack speed is very weak. So at some point when I unlock attack speed mastery and bring my attack speed lab close to Go Box, then that's when I will actively start worrying about that. But for the time being, I think I'm fine. My Harmony Conductor looks quite nice. I haven't unlocked the 201 stat yet. I have no idea where I'm going to use it, so at some point, if I do use it, I'll think again then. Wormhole Redirector, this was my EHP module. And I know a lot of people run very solid EHP builds at the moment. I personally do not care too much about EHP. For me, when it was EHP, it's always just about how do I get enough EHP to survive for say 12 hours so that I could do 2 runs every day. This was what it took for me to achieve that. So this was all I needed for my I guess for my health module. Being Annihilator, haven't touched it since the tournament playtest. Still no idea where I'm going to use it, but for tournaments, because I do struggle with enemy health later on in the runs, death penalty has been working out really good for me. This is how my death penalty looks like. And yeah, Pulsar Harvester, we've seen it. So yeah, nothing much left with the other modules. Right, in terms of my vault upgrades, I think for the Harmony tree, I'm more or less done with it. If I had the keys for it, or sometime during this month, I would want to get this last card slot. But otherwise, I think I should work my way up the power tree now and start pushing for more damage and pushing for my tournament performance. So right, that brings me to guilds. This is the Guardians that I'm using. I still haven't done the respec for my fetch chip. This is how my fetch chip looks like. I honestly don't know what's the effective path. Someone sent it over before, but I can't remember it, so I'm just doing whatever with it. But there is an effective path for fetch. If you are interested in that kind of thing, that should be what you would be focusing on. In terms of the store for my for this season, I'm going to go around getting all the coin bonuses first. The first thing I got was this coins earned by 2%. What is this one? Attack speed by 2%. This is probably going to be, I'll get it later on. But I think getting all the coin bonuses first, then maybe getting the extra bits, getting the extra module shards and all. I would focus on that before I actually bother about the attack speed. In terms of tournament performance, I think my tournament performance has been quite consistent lately. So when did we... It was 1 month ago. So from the 1st of June, yeah, so hovering. There was this one tournament bracket. I remember it. It was a tough bracket. I'm hovering between first and second place most of the time, or first to third place most of the time. This was a very outlier bracket. And as you can see, I don't really focus very much on tournaments. For me, tournaments is just about entering it, getting as high of a wave count as I can. If it means that I end up at 5th place, as long as I've tried it, it's still more stones and more gems than if I had not tried it. But maybe at some point, when my economy becomes a lot better and I can start competing with people in the 3,000-ish wave count region, that might be where I start focusing on specific strategies and so on once again. And I believe that is all that needs to be covered in terms of gameplay. So these are how my bots look like. As I mentioned, I just want to complete my Amplify bot this month, and then once that is done, Thunderbot would be unlocked. Right, so I guess that should be a wrap for all of the tournament related stuff. Have a great one, everyone. Have a great week, everyone, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.